I have made the chapter evolution into the 5 major topics. The first topic in the chapter evolution that I have categorized it is to the cosmology part. According to the Big Bang theory, the universe was created approximately 20 billion years ago, while the Earth emerged around 4.5 billion years ago. Life emerged 500 million years after the emergence of Earth, that would be around 4 billion years ago. The second major topic is origin of first life on Earth. So the one of the earliest theories that were relevant after the theory of abiosis was the theory of biosis, which was given by three scientists, Freddy, Els Leon, and Louis Pasteur. Pasteur used swan neck experiment, and he also gave the term omnis vivum ex vivum, meaning all new life emerged from the pre-existing life. After the theory of abiogenesis came the theory of cosmogenic theory, which was given by the early Greeks. It explained about the extraterrestrial origin of life that were in form of spores and that came from outside the planet. Then came the catastrophism theory. According to this, life emerged after natural disasters. It was based on the study of fossils, but none of the above theories can explain the origin of the first life, how the first life appeared on the earth. After all these unsuccessful attempts to explain the origin of the first life came one of the most advanced studies on evolution, which was given by Oparin-Haldane theory. It explained about chemogenic origin of life. According to this theory, life emerged in deep oceans from simple chemicals which were either organic or inorganic, and slowly due to complex reasons, it turned into micromolecules and eventually into the macromolecules that we know today as biomolecules. Then, in favor of Oparin-Haldane's chemogenic origin of life came the Miller-Urey experiment in 1953. They used a composition of methane to ammonia to hydrogen gas in 2:1:2 in stack discharge apparatus, and they obtained red hot soup, a mixture of amino acids like glycine, arginine, aspartic acid. Their conclusion was chemogeny happens first, then comes biogeny, and last cosmogeny. Chemogeny means the complex molecules are formed, biogeny means simpler biomolecular structures are formed, and cosmogeny means something that can inherit life to next generations, of something that can carry life's data, something like RNA or DNA. So according to Miller-Urey experiment, the first life that came on Earth was protobionts that emerged 4 billion years ago in the form of macromolecules, and the first non-cellular form of life were in the form of eubionts that appeared 3 billion years ago in form of macromolecules like RNA, DNA, meaning cosmogeny started from here. Then after eubionts, the next in line came prokaryote around 2 billion years ago, and they were the first cellular form of life. Then first proper life that we call today or eukaryotes came about 1.5 billion years ago. Now let's move on to the next major topic, which is evidences of organic evolution. Evidences of organic evolution are on 5 different levels. Let's start with the first level, or morphological evidences, which are commonly defined into the homologous organs, analogous organs, vestigial organs, and connective links. The homologous organs explain about the common origin but different function, like it explains divergent evolution. It also signifies homology. Homology means common origin, different function. Like the human hands, bat wings, cheetah limbs, whale flippers, they are all same structures but have developed different functions, like human hands for holding stuff, bat wings for flying, cheetah limb for fast running, and whale flippers for swimming. Then insect mouth parts and what in most of insects are homologous and represent homology, as well as the vertebral heart in most of the cortex. In most of the vertebrata, heart is mostly ventral and most of them have chambers and the structures like that represent homology. Next in line come analogous organ, which means different origin but somehow developed similar functions or same functions. It explains about convergent evolution. Convergent means one species is converted to form other functions, like wings of butterfly and birds are not similar in origin but they are both developed for flying. Eyes of octopus and humans. Similarly, stings in honeybee or scorpion, as well as potato, underground stem, and sweet potato, underground root. It explains about analogy. Next in line come vestigial organs. These are ancestral organs that are not currently in the use, and thus they only serve a function of evidence and they have no particular use inside the living organism. For example, in animals, griddle bone of python, flight muscle in flightless bird are vestigial organs because they are of no use but they still exist as ancestral organs. If we consider human's case, then his skin, hair, ear, pinna, muscle, and coccyx and vermiform appendix are useless parts, as well as male nipples, wisdom teeth. Then there comes connecting links, which tells about connecting links about different phyla, different kingdoms. Like Euglena connects plants to animals. Like Euglena is photosynthetic in day and saprophytic in night. Then lungfish explains similarity in amphibian and fish. Same goes for limb finfish, which is an egg-laying mammal. Then Archaeopteryx fossil explains the link about birds and reptiles. It is also a missing link, meaning not much evidence is present for Archaeopteryx. After morphological evidences, next in line come paleontological evidences, meaning using fossils or study of fossils, also known as plateology, used relative based on the comparison on sedimentary rock layers. It can be done using a method called as radioactive dating. It is based on half-life period of an element. Three most popular ones are given in NCERT, like potassium argon method, uranium lead method, and ESR, electron spin resonance. Out of all of them, ESR is considered as most accurate. Since we are on paleontological evidence part, let's do a separate topic also. It is an important topic given in NCERT. It is said as geological time scale. It is explained from the time of origin of Earth, about 4.5 billion years to today's time. It is divided mainly into two fractions. One is era and the second is period. Period come within era. So the earliest of the eras were Protozoic or Precambrionic period. Then come Proterozoic, then come Mesozoic, and then Conozoic. We will be in the first era or the Protozoic era or Precambrian era. There are no periods because most of the organisms don't exist at this period of time. Then in Paleozoic era, Cambrian period, then Orthomesozoic, then Silurian period, then Devonian period, Coniferous, then Permian period. Out of these two are important. One is Devonian era, which is golden age of fishes, and Coniferous era, which is golden age of amphibians. In Mesozoic era, which is also known as golden age of reptiles, first come Triassic period, where dinosaurs appeared, Jurassic period, where dinosaurs dominated, and Cretaceous period, where dinosaurs went extinct about 65 million years ago. Then come the last era, also known as Cenozoic era or age of mammals. It is of two parts, tertiary and quaternary period. After this, let's move on to our main topic, which is evidences for organic evolution. The third topic is embryological evidences. The first theory that came was the biogenic or recapitulation theory based on embryological evidence by Ernst Hayer, and he said that oncology repeats, meaning a tetrapod resembles fish in early evolution stage. This was disapproved by Carl Ernst von Boyer because he opposed it because common factors appears first in embryonic development on most of the species. Specific features only appear in later stages of life, like how earlier gametes seem almost identical in most of the sexually reproducing organisms, and then features like heart and limbs appears in the later development period. So embryological theory was disapproved by Carl Ernst von Baer. Next in line of evidences come biogeographical evidences, which was earlier common Earth landmass. Common Earth landmass was Pangea was split into 6 regions by A.R. Wallace, classified the whole landmass in 6 biological regions or realms based on plants or animal distribution. They are Nearctic, Neotropical, Ethiopian, Palearctic, Oriental, which is Indian, and Australian. Adaptive radiation also comes in this part, which is evolution of different species from common origin based on the interspecies competition. If 2 or more adaptive radiation are shown, then it is known as convergent evolution. And as I said, convergent evolution represents analogy. The example of this is Darwin Finches on Galapagos Islands, which were 14 major or small group of islands. There were a variety of beaks from the seed-eating beaks, like fruit-eating. Then there's insect-eating. Many types of finches developed from the original seed-eating beak birds. Marsupial radiation, Australian marsupial radiation, and placental mammals are given in NCERT, like nimbat and anteater, spotted cactus and lemur, flying paleontologist or flying squirrel, Tasmanian tiger cat and bobcat, marsupial mole and mole, and the Tasmanian wolf and wolf. Due to the separation of the areas, similar species have developed into different types of species. Next in line of evidences come biochemistry or genetic evidences, like insulin have similar function in humans and frogs. Proteins, hormones, or enzymes have similar types among most of the animals. Trypsin is a universal enzyme found in all animals. Next, after the cosmology and embryological evidences and origin of first life part, comes the theory of evolution part. The first theory of the evolution was Lamarckism, which, according to this, evolution occurred but driven mainly by the use and misuse of organs. Just like elongated neck and forelimbs of giraffes was due to them eating grasses, and the loss of limbs in snake was due to them slithering, rather than progressive evolution. Next in line came Darwinism, theory of natural selection, which was one of the most famous theories you could find. It was influenced by the work of Thomas R. Malthus' essay on population. According to Darwinism theory, there are two main factors. One is branching descent and the second is natural selection. Darwin published his ideas on origin of species by the means of natural selection in his book, and the similar conclusions were also made by A.R. Wallace, who worked in Malay Archipelago Islands, now called as Indonesia. The main points of the Darwinism theory were the evolution is multiplication or differential reproduction, limited food and space-derived evolution, interspecies struggle for existence, variation is always small, gradual and in specific direction. Survival of the fittest was applied here, and the term survival of the fittest was given by H. Spencer. Then the major factor of Darwinism theory was natural selection. Darwin was still unable to explain the cause of variation. Next in line came the mutation theory by Hugo de Vries. He worked on a Oinotheca Lamarckia, which is also known as evening primrose. According to mutation theory, mutation can be called saltation, meaning a single step large motion. In mutation, variation is large, random, discontinuous and directionless. It was exact opposite of Darwinism. And the cause of this is evening primrose, so various type of genetic combination. It is one of the most diverse types. It shows polygenic inheritance. Next in line came Hardy-Weinberg principle. It is the first time math applied for the evening explaining evolution. According to him, dominant would be categorized as double A, capital A for diploid, and recessive would be double small a for recessive ones. If the population have random mating, meaning non-selective mating, the frequency of allele capital A, meaning dominant, is P, frequency of recessive is Q. If recessive plus dominant is equal to 1, then population is constant generation over generation, meaning no evolution will occur in that population. It can also be represented as P plus Q square is equal to 1, P square plus Q square plus 2Q equal to 1, that would mean no evolution. Here P square represents homologous dominant allele, Q square is recessive, 2PQ is heterozygous individual, meaning there is no evolution. If there is P plus Q not equal to 1, that would also mean this equation will also not equal to 1, meaning change in equilibrium is happening and population is evolving. If population is very small, that would mean mating is not random, meaning mating is selective. Then many factors would apply that were not applying before. Those factors are gene mutation, genetic recombination, gene migration or flow. What is gene migration and flow? It is due to the purposeful movement of population. If gene migration occurs multiple times, it is called as gene flow. Gene migration occurs due to purposeful movement of population. Next in line comes genetic drift, and the last in line comes natural selection. All these factors would apply if P plus Q will not equal to 1 or this equation will not equal to 1. Now let me explain you about genetic drift and natural selection, as they will also may be in PYQ. So let's start those. Genetic drift is a change in allele frequency. Change in allele frequency by chance is known as genetic drift. It causes two effects mainly. One is founder effect, the second is bottleneck effect. Bottleneck effect is not properly given in NCERT. And the founder effect is when a small isolated population by chance arrive at a new place and become founder of new species. It is known as founder effect because a old species is arriving in a new place and it is developing into many new species, which is, for example, Darwin Finches. Then there comes the bottleneck effect. It happens when a small group of species is trapped on a very specific area, land area, and it develops into some other species or the variant of the same species that does not resemble the original species by much. Then the next in line comes natural selection. There are three types of natural selection. The first one is stabilizing selection, like selection of intermediate type will be taken, not recessive, not dominant, but intermediate type will be P. Like average height in humans, average birth weight of human babies, that is due to stabilizing selection. Next in line comes directional or progressive selection. In this type of selection, either one of the peripheral values will be chosen, like it may be recessive one, it may be dominant one. For example, DDT effect on insect is one such example, and the industrial melanism, which have due to which before 1950 white moth dominated, but after 1950 due to industrial revolution, many of the white moths died due to the pollution and the dark moth became dominant, and it chose a boundary peripheral value. Next in line comes disruptive or diversifying natural selection. In this case, both extremes are selected by natures, like heterozygous is not selected, either it is homozygous dominant or homozygous recessive. For example, animal with black or white fur is selected while mixed fur color is not selected. And the last and the most important part of this chapter is human evolution. Human evolution have many things like loss of body hair, shortening of jaws, increased cranial capacity, which is approx 1400 cubic centimeter at current time, and the progressive loss of tail. The first in the human evolution come Dryopithecus, which is around 25 million years ago, which were more closer to apes. Then come Ramapithecus, which are similar to man. Around 14 to 50 million ago, both are believed to be existed at same time, and both walk like chimpanzees and gorilla with hairy skin. Next in line after Ramapithecus come Australopithecus around 3.4 million years ago, and they walk or East African grassland, use stone weapons and ate fruits. After Australopithecus comes Homo habilis, which were handyman or the first tool maker, around 650 to 8 cc brain capacity, and the first time used hand to make chipped stone. The first human-like beings, also known as homid, and probably they did not eat meat. They were probably making chipped stone for safety purposes only. Next in line comes Homo erectus, also known as Java man or Peking man or Helpers man. They were first to use fire. That's why they are called as Peking mans. They were most likely cannibals. Their cranial capacity was approximately 900 cc according to NCRT, but their range would be approximately 900 to 1300 cc. After Homo erectus, next in line comes Neanderthal man, and they were Homo sapien neanderthalensis. They arose approximately 100,000 years ago. They were religious. They buried dead with the flowers and tools. They had humpback around 1400 cc cranial capacity. They used hides to protect their bodies, and they were prognathous face, meaning protrusion of the lower jaws. Next in line after Neanderthal man comes Cro-Magnon man, which were the recent ancestor of modern human, or they are also can be said as Homo sapien fossils. Their cranial capacity was around 1600 cc, and around that time agriculture also started around 10,000 years ago, and they were also known as prehistoric cave arts, like in 18,000 years from Bhimbatika rock shelter in the Raisen district of MP, and last in line comes modern man, which is the current human. Now there are some similarities in the adult human similar to baby chimpanzee. They show or they may have shown common ancestry due to the closeness that baby chimpanzees show to adult humans. That would be all for evolution chapter.